Nathan Ivey.com. Mr. Ivey know the show must go on. And far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised arms, close fists, yeah, too strong. Team NI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airways, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info about it? Hey, yo, Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati Reds at. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
All right. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Hope you're doing well. It's a beautiful Monday, and welcome back to Nathan Ivey Show, where nothing is funnier than the truth. Men are expected to be men, and of course, sucker MCs get dealt with. If you'd like to share your thoughts this morning, it's pretty simple, 513-873-7134. I hope that you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. I want to talk about numerous things, including the sentencing of Kim Potter. Now, she was the police officer that mistakenly killed an unarmed citizen who happened to be black. And she said that it was a mistake. She said that she thought she was pulling her taser, and she pulled out her firearm and shot him. And I'm not sure if you got a chance to see the news surrounding the judge's decision, but the judge herself made the news because of two things: the light sentencing, and then her emotional state while she was giving the sentence. Judge Chu was all up in her feelings. Like, literally, she was fighting back tears. And she talked about how police officers have to do a very difficult job, and it's so hard and it's so tough and it's just a mistake. And Dante Wright's mother was like, wait a minute, why does her tears matter more than my tears? And I lost my son. Looks like Kim Potter is going to serve about 2 years, the last 10 months of which will be like in a supervised sort of housing situation. So to say she got off light for mistakenly, accidentally killing a person is an understatement. Some people think, I was watching or saw on Twitter, Joy Reid thought that the judge was going to give her probation. She was so sympathetic. And what I learned is that some tears are more valuable than others. It's not that she's a white female, it's the fact that she is a white female police officer. And police officers, they exist in a very special place in our society. It's just what it is. Ain't no way around it. I want to talk with you about it this morning at 873-7134. Thank you for being here. Please take a second to like and in particular share this show so everybody can see it. Are you in the mood for some talk? Are you in the mood for some talk? How was your weekend? Hope your weekend was well. I had a pleasant surprise yesterday. Good morning to you. I had a very pleasant surprise yesterday, and that was the NBA All-Star Game. Now, over the last couple of years, I haven't watched it at all, quite honestly. Ended up watching it with the wifey and our son. Our daughter was doing something different. She didn't want to partake in those festivities, so she was watching something different. And it was quite entertaining. Not the game itself, but the 75th anniversary All-Star choosing of the best players ever in the NBA. That was kind of interesting. Nostalgia. You know what I'm saying? Some of the greatest players all in one. They were in Cleveland. Anybody go to Cleveland? We thought about it. The wifey's from Cleveland. We thought about it, but we was like, nah, next time. We'll see you in another 10 years. But it looked like it was a great ceremony and all the great, it was like NBA royalty, if you believe in that kind of thing, including Michael Jeffrey Jordan, who was bigger than life. He's bigger than a basketball player with that Jordan brand. I mean, Michael Jordan is probably one of the most recognizable people on the planet by far. No doubt about it. But it was enjoyable, just kind of waxing nostalgic for a little bit and just kind of remember like, oh, this player, that player. Some of these guys, I'm like, damn, bro. How you go from being one of the best players ever, like one of the most gifted athletes on the planet, and now you're looking like this? Come on. You got a responsibility. That's what I said about Michael. For many years, Michael was sort of like our James Bond. He was that symbol of black male virility and masculinity, right? Don't hit me with that toxic icks because there's nothing toxic about a man's masculinity. And he was in tip-top shape. He's kind of let himself go a little bit, but it's all good. I thought it was very entertaining. The game itself, I don't even know. Oh, LeBron, last second, yeah. I don't know. I don't understand the rules of the All-Star game. They changed that shit. Nobody shoots free throws. I don't understand what they're doing. I know they're doing something with the first quarter. Whoever's got the most points, then the charity that's pre-designated gets the money. I think it's $100 grand or something like that. Other than that, I don't know. I know Steph Curry went nuts. Where's Brian at? I know he was happy. Gosh darn Steph Curry. God gave him everything. Gosh darn it. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. And so many things to talk about. I want to talk about numerous things today, not just this situation with Kim Potter, which I think is just amazing. You mistakenly shoot somebody and you get all the sympathy and you kill somebody? I'm going to reserve my sympathy for the victim's family. Convicted of manslaughter. Talking about, I made a mistake. I'm not with it. I don't believe it. I'm not with it. I don't accept it. But it is what it is. We are where we are. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. A lot of stuff to talk about. Some might be on your radar screen. Some may not be on your radar screen. I want to talk about Cam Newton, probably during the second hour this morning. He made some interesting comments about relationships. He was asked, like, could he be in a relationship with somebody if that person was cheating? Like, could he be with a woman that cheats on him? And his response was interesting. We'll get to that in a second. Perhaps. If not today, then sometime this week. We'll get to that. We could hear big news today. We could hear big news today. This could be big for the black community. This is big for us, allegedly. That is, today, we could see Joe Biden nominate a black woman to the Supreme Court of the United States. Now, I think it's a great move because we don't have a black female on the Supreme Court of the United States. It's just simply diversity. It's simply remaking and reimagining to some degree courts so that they reflect society. You telling me that we shouldn't have a black woman on the Supreme Court? I don't belie that. That doesn't make any sense to me. But we could, the news could drop sometimes today. So, hell, it could drop sometime during the show today. That'll be big. Allegedly. Allegedly. Because, black folks, some black folks have been very upset with Joe Biden because they feel like Joe Biden has not come through. Now, I've already told you, some of this new black media is just straight up lazy with their analysis. I'm tired of hearing the take. Joe Biden lied to you to get your vote. They swindled you again. I'm tired of hearing that shit. That shit is played out and lame, and it's what smart people think is intelligent. Ain't shit intelligent about that take at all. Excuse my language. There's nothing intelligent about that take at all. They swindled you again from your vote. Shut up, please. Go sit down and learn. Clearly, you don't understand how this works. But there's been a lot of dissatisfaction at the movement that the Biden administration has made on some of those things that the black community, black voters appear to care about. Would this make things all better? Black Supreme Court justice, would this make things all better? Is this tokenism? I don't think it's tokenism. What's interesting is Senator Ted Cruz had the nerve to try to talk for black folks and black women. Senator Ted Cruz talking about, oh, this is disrespectful. This is a slap in the face to black women all across America. What? Negro, if you don't go sit down. And then I pick up the Cincinnati Enquirer, and they've got an op-ed from a woman named Rachel Sitak. And I think she's like a Republican operative, sort of like Republican. She's a black female, lives in Anderson Township. And she wrote this piece titled, SCOTUS Nomination Cheapens African-American Success and Personhood. What? So basically, the gist of her argument is that by saying that he was going to pick the first black woman, right, to nominate the first black woman to be on the Supreme Court, that somehow that's demeaning to black people. That cheapens, African Americans' ability to succeed. What in the hell? Huh? Like, are you not aware of the history of this country? It's just amazing to me. I'll read a little bit from it. It's from Rachel Sitek. I've never met her before. I love to talk to her on the show and see where her head's at. She wrote this whole piece in the Cincinnati Enquirer talking about how, Joe Biden is basically is like welfare and it's bad for the future prospects of black people because you just hand them something. Wait a minute. Huh? What? Yeah, it's real. We'll talk about it though. 513-873-7134. Hey, thank you for the share. All the folks that share, man, it means everything because Facebook is a cruel partner. Facebook is a cruel partner. I'm going to go ahead and say that. Tony writes, good morning, Nate. And the Chopper's at home today with the boy. I got time today. Great. That's right. CPS is out. Most of the school, all the schools are out, right? Because of President's Day. I love the feeling of when I know that garbage day is on a holiday and I don't expend the energy to put my trash out. Then I look outside and all my neighbors put the trash out. I'm like, it's President's Day. Come on, man, get with it. I'll put it out tonight. It's the small things that matter. Brian writes, those white tears again. That's right. Oh, the tears. Oh, I didn't mean to shoot him. And there's still questions as to whether he even deserved to be tasered. A rookie police officer that she was training testified during, just to give you some backdrop and some history, testified during the Kim Potter trial that Dante Wright basically posed no threat. She couldn't taser that young boy fast enough. She tried to taser him so fast, right? She yelled, taser, 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 but she didn't give her fellow officers enough time to really back away. The rookie police officer that she was training during this incident that led to the death of Dante Wright, he testified that she moved so fast that his hands were still on Dante Wright's body when the bullets were entering his body. But the judge is all in her feelings for her. Like, clearly this is straight up negligence. Clearly, if not worse. There's some people who still believe this was premeditated. I still don't believe that. I just don't understand. She's close to retirement. Why complicate your life to do something like this? People say this is all part of rituals and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, we know law enforcement has been infiltrated by white supremacists, extremists. Matter of fact, there's a new report out over the weekend that reiterates what we already know. There's a new report that says that they found evidence that extremists, i.e., white supremacists, have infiltrated police organizations, law enforcement departments, and the military. Like, how many more reports do we need to see before we believe them? So I don't know if that's what the case is. I don't know if she was on some dope. She could have been on dope. Yeah. Police officers be on dope. Who knows? Or, when it's a black person involved, the rules don't matter as much. You know what I'm saying? You move a little quicker. Because I said you will comply, boy. And if you don't comply, then we'll light fire in your eyes. And that's what she did. And she's getting 2 years for it and a lot of sympathy from the judge. And I'm looking at this video like, what in the world is wrong with this woman? I got it for you. I'll play it for you in a second. 513-873-7134 if you like to share your thoughts. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Tracy writes, hi. Greg writes, grand risings all. Good morning to you, Greg. Good to see everybody. How are you? Hope you had a great weekend. Crystal writes, good morning. Dale writes, good morning, Nate and the Hella Choppers. Rachel writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Deshaun writes, good morning, everyone. Brian's in the house. Greg writes, I know that many people are disappointed by the light sentence that Kim Porter received. However, I think the state of Minnesota has made progress in having prosecuted and convicted her at all. Perhaps. Maybe. Cass is in the house. She writes, hey, Choppers, good to see you. Greg said you're looking forward to hearing the comments. I'm sharing them with you. Tabitha's in the house. She writes, good morning. Sister Iris writes, good morning, great people. It's the 21st day of Black History Month. Good morning to you. Fake ass tears, right? Fake ass tears win again. It was white woman's tears that brought down Black Wall Street. Not really. That was just a rationale that was used. It was really white fragility and white supremacy and evilness. Evil. That's really what it was. But on the surface, it was white tears. He touched me in the elevator, right? Next thing you know, whole neighborhoods destroyed. Hundreds of people murdered. Tony Rosewood. Tony writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers. Good morning to you, Tony, for the second time. Deborah writes, good morning, everyone. Dale writes, I'm hearing that a black judge hugged Kim Potter after giving her sentence. I mean, my thing is, if we gonna hug, I don't have no sympathy for her. I really don't. I don't have any sympathy for her because somebody lost their life. And conservative media, you know what they're saying about Dante Wright? They're running through his rap sheet. Oh, he was a bad person. He was a criminal. He did this, he did that, he did this, he did that. And I would say that people are missing a point. It's the process that matters. Like, yeah, when you commit crimes, the police might be called, you might be arrested, you might go to jail, you might have to spend some time, but there's a process to it. And we should all be invested in making sure that that process is fair and doesn't violate your rights. Because if they can do that to Dante Wright and get away with it, they can do it to your kid. That's how that works. People don't see it that way. They see it like, oh, that could never be me because I'm not a criminal. Well, in the new America, everybody's a criminal, potentially. Anybody can get it. Anybody can get that heat. Depends on the scenario. Tabitha writes, I'm in disbelief about this officer. I know, right? The judge, man, I'm like, wow. But, people are, how do I put this? People are influenced in different ways. I read that the NBC is very disappointed in their coverage of the Olympics. They paid about $7 billion a few years ago. They were bidding. It's a bidding process for the Olympics for the major networks. They outbidded all the other networks. I think their bid was $7 billion, and nobody's watching it. I ain't watching none of the Olympics. I don't think I watch any. Is basketball doing the Olympics? Y'all play Sha'Carri Richardson. I ain't watching that. I don't care about the slalom. I'm just sorry. That's just not my favorite. You know what I'm saying? So they can somehow integrate basketball into the Winter Olympics, then I may watch of it. Team USA Olympic style, I might watch some of it, but and apparently I'm not alone. People aren't watching it. They're saying, I've been reading over the weekend that the numbers are terrible. And I thought, wow, I haven't watched any of it. The only Olympic coverage I've watched is like a few clips here or there and some stuff I've seen on Facebook. That's it. Am I alone? No, I don't want to watch that boring ass. It ain't sexy this year. It's just nothing sexy about it. Plus, you're in a dictatorship. I don't want to watch that garbage. It could just be me. Brandy writes, good morning, beautiful people. Good morning to you. Chris writes, good morning. Dare writes, she's gonna do 1 year in minimum security prison, shaking my head. Mm-hmm. Brandy writes, my weekend was amazing. Good to see you and good to hear that. Tony writes, can you say Amber Geiger? Yep. Oh, I didn't mean to shoot him. I thought it was my place. And so I just shot him before I even asked him a question. Like, even if he was breaking into your home, you going to shoot the man with no questions asked? Speaks to the mentality. That's why she should have went to jail for a long time. Kim Potter got off super easy. But look at these tears, though. I'm just so broken up about it. If you care that much about life, this is why I don't really buy it on some levels. I mean, I believe that she's under emotional distress because she was looking at going to jail for a long time. The state's prosecutor office, you want to know how much time they recommended? The judge gave her 2 years. The state's prosecutor's office in Minnesota recommended she get no less than 7 years. So clearly this judge was on something. He was on something. So that's a big ass difference. 5 years? That's why she's in tears. If she really cared that much about Dante Wright's life or anybody else's life, you know what she would have done? She would have made damn sure that it was a taser. Because that's what people that care about preserving life do. They make sure. They make sure. Like when you care about preserving other humans' life, you make sure you cross your T's and you dot your I's. You make sure you look at it. You make sure it's a taser. So I don't buy the whole excuses with the mistakes. I don't buy it. She got off. She got off for 2 reasons. Number one, because she's a police officer. And police officers, that badge and that uniform trumps everything else in some cases. And second, because she's a white female. And, because of our society and history, they can be very sympathetic figures. And that's what happened, in my opinion. And because she's a police officer, the judge is like, damn, she's out here trying to do a good job. It's a tough job. I couldn't do that job. Let me give her some latitude. Huh? Dante Wright's mother said, look, I spent all this time on a victim's impact statement. That's a statement where, let's say somebody in your family was the victim of a homicide or something like that. Then right before the sentencing, you can read a statement to the judge or the court or both, and with the hopes of that influencing the decision on the sentencing, right? So Dante Wright's mother wrote a whole thing out. She said she rewrote it a couple times. She really put her heart into it. And the judge was like, okay, next. Kim Potter, she all in her feelings. I just, it's such a hard decision to make, right? Huh? Rachel writes, certain police officers in Minnesota get special attention. Didn't black officer who shot the white lady get serious time? He did. Then he got it reversed, and then they went back and gave him some more time. Monday is hitting like Juwan Howard's open hand smack. I saw that. I mean, that's what happens when you're dealing with a man. That writes, good morning, Nate. Get Monday, Nate and the Choppers. Everybody's different. You can't say certain things to certain people. Regina Wright, or make certain gestures. Regina writes, good morning. Brenda writes, happy Monday. Happy Monday to you, Brenda. Good morning to you. Hey, MG. Well, don't say my name like, don't take my name like that. With that long, with all those E's and those Y's. Hey, Nathan, that's how I read that. Don't get yourself in trouble now. Crystal writes, good morning, everyone. Jenny writes, good morning, Nathan the Choppers. Got to try and hang on this day off. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Shortly after getting off the air, I'm hitting the streets. I'm hitting the streets of Cincinnati, getting a walk in. And then after that, I'm at the gym for about an hour. Got to get it in every single day. Rachel writes, certain Republicans would try to play the token card with the appointment, even though they use black people in their party to speak for the blacks. Yeah, it's like, oh, this is tokenism. Please, there's no black female on the Supreme Court. It's like a glaring lack of diversity, right? So, and the second thing about it is the Republicans, see, part of the national politics game, I'm going to tell you something you already know, but I'm going to make a point with it anyway. It's adversarial. The Republicans don't want the Democrats to do well. The Democrats don't want the Republicans to do well while their guy's in office. So if you notice, every campaign promise and everything that Joe Biden said he was going to do, the Republican Party is systematically making sure he doesn't do it. Why? Because of the midterm elections coming up this year, they can run against it. See, we told you. We told you he's a lipstick liberal. We told you he was an extremist. We told you he was not going to do anything. He's not as effective as Trump. That's all it is. Simple as that. That's it. Eloise is in the house. She writes, good morning. Happy Monday. Good morning to you. Chris writes, CPS is out because it's warm and sunny. Is that right? You got jokes. Okay. Kev on the sale writes, good morning, Choppers. The bag is on sale for President's Day. Invest in something today that returns 12% compound interest and get 20% off the time it takes to be retired ready. He's right about that, though. He's right about that 12%. So I got a chance to meet with a CPA yesterday, as I told you did, because we were talking about starting an investment club. He gave me a really good idea of how we can proceed forward. So I'm going to write everything up and contact all the people via email. He made a suggestion, which I agree with, which is we're going to set up, for those who are interested, a Zoom-style meeting. This is something that you can attend live, or I hope to make it available to you if you're not available when we do it live, so you can hear from him to see if this is something you're interested in. And then after that, we'll take it to the next phase. But I thought it was very interesting. It's very doable. They have this particular CPA, black male, has worked with a lot of people inside the city doing investment clubs. He gave me some good ideas and some idea on what the return would be over many years. And we're going to move forward if you're interested. And it'll totally be you. You have your own account. It'll totally be up to you. You can do what you want to do, pull out when you want to pull out. But it'll be more of like a shared experience. So look for that email by the end of the week. And within that email, I hope to have a time for the first Zoom style sort of virtual meeting. So the folks who are interested, you can tap in, talk with the CPA directly, ask any questions, get a sense of, who he is and what he can bring to the table. But I'm looking forward to that. It should be a lot of fun. Tabitha writes, I'm tired of police treating black people like a terrorist. Mm-hmm. Hear, hear. Marisha writes, good morning. Ronald writes, good morning, Chop Shop. Daryl writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers. Tabitha writes, that's why it's important to vote locally too. Absolutely. D is in the house. Good to see you. Gail is in the house. Good to see you as well. Craig is in the house. Good morning from early San Diego. What's up, Craig? TNT writes, good morning. Casey writes, good morning, Nathan Ivey and the Awesome Choppers. The judge in the Potter case was of Asian descent. Yes, she is. Now, does that play a role in this? It might. It may not. It may and it may not. But she was very sympathetic to Kim Potter. Only gave her 2 years when the recommendation from the prosecutors was 7 years. I feel a whole lot. See, 7 years is like, this is a punishment. We want you to suffer. 2 years is like, you did something wrong. We got to do something, but we really don't want you to suffer too much. Like, what? Meanwhile, Dante Wright's beautiful son is going to grow up without his father. Without his father. Pamela writes, good morning. Jerome writes, good morning, Nathan Chop. It's good to see you both. Tony writes, I turned the channel and saw some snowboarding and a little curling, I think, and then that was a wrap. Right. I don't want to see no curling. I mean, there was a time, like my mother, when I was younger, she used to love the Olympics. In particular, she loved the figure skating. Okay. That's athletic, it's beautiful, it's poetry, it's dance, it's art, it's all that kind of stuff. So yeah. Hockey, not really my thing. I can't remember any of the winter sports. I mean, I can't lie. Over the years, like the slalom, and I've watched stuff here and there, right? Primarily when they were like black performers or black athletes, even though I know there's black athletes as well in this Olympics. But for whatever reason, I'm just not into it. I just ain't feeling it. Dale writes, the judge was very disrespectful to the Wright family. You think, though? Greg writes, the pushback I got on Twitter was that Wright had a criminal record. I've read that. And as I understand, he faced other charges. So I asked what happened to innocent until proven guilty. Wright did not get his day in court. I've heard that too, primarily from like conservative types. And they're pushing the narrative that Dante Wright basically got what he deserved. Like you said, Greg, he never went to trial. He was never convicted of anything. That's not a police officer's job to be judge, jury, and executioner. I think that Kim Potter getting off is bad for America because it sets a bad example for police officers. That's just my opinion. That's just me. Dale writes, Judge Chin is up for re-election. Hopefully people will get out to vote to make sure he's off the bench. Crystal writes, good morning. Good morning to you, Crystal. Good to see you. I got a chance to watch the All-Star game yesterday, and the game was the least fun part to watch. The fun part was when they was nominating or they were naming like the 75 greatest players of all time. That was fun. You know, I'm sitting there like going back through memory lane, like, oh snap, I remember him. Oh, forgot about him. Like, who the hell is this? I don't even know who that is. But nonetheless, I thought it was a good performance. Sandra Jones is in the house. She writes, good morning. Good to see you. Tanika writes, good morning, Nathan Chopper. It's going to be 81 degrees here today, 80s all week. Now, why you have to tell us that? We still got ice and snow. I was walking around Mount Adams yesterday and Eden Park. There's still parts of the city. It's little patches of snow that like are in shadows and things like that. And she's talking about 80 degrees all week. Brian writes, white man grabbed me by my arm while I'm deliberately ignoring you. You'll get that Jay Howard open hand as well. Hey, it is what it is. I'm going to shoot around with the round ball. Got to get this body moving and leaner. Absolutely. I love the way that sounds. Dale writes, not 2 years, 16 months. Exactly. Thank you for the correction. But it's 2 years with time served, I believe. It's like it amounts to 2 years. Shannon writes, it's crazy that she didn't take her own prosecutor's recommendation, which still wasn't excessive, right? 7 years, it should have been like 20. But that's just me. Here I am caring about human life. TNT writes, the judge may have been harassed by the local FOP there. I thought the same thing, TNT. She probably was harassed by the FOP. They probably did let her put some pressure on her, like, look, you know, see it this way. I was very shocked by the 360 verdict when she was found guilty. The same judge made it a point to take her into custody the same day, not allowing her to spend Christmas with her family. I think that move brought hell fury on the judge. You think so? Pat writes, good morning. Brian writes, Aaron Jackson, a black speed skater, got the gold. Cool. Cass writes, Middletown, Jerry Lucas was named. Hashtag Middle Pride. Okay, I'm with that. Kevin writes, it's going to be 63 today, Nathan Ivey. In the winter, we going to take what we can get in oh, hell no. Oh, hell no? Is that what they're calling it? Oh, hell no. That's hilarious. Oh, hell no. Fox writes, rise and shine, young stars. Sharp writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers. Miss D writes, greetings. Good morning to you. How was your weekend? Hope it was well. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. That's crazy. Classy One writes, why do you think that Biden is spending $30 million to give out crack pipes? I don't think. Well, number one, I think they backed away from that, so that's not going to happen anymore because people were criticizing it. And I don't think it was just crack pipes. I think the idea was drug paraphernalia, so also needles, like needle exchange programs. The idea behind giving out crack pipes is that, from a public health standpoint, the public, I would rather you smoke crack out of a pipe than to share needles, because you're going to spread hepatitis potentially, and you're going to potentially spread HIV. So it becomes a public health concern. So that's what that's the rationale behind the idea. But from what I read, it was so much misinformation and disinformation and wrong information, which I know is redundant, that the Biden administration decided to step away from that idea. But I didn't think it was the worst idea I ever heard. I don't know why people get so squeamish about that. People are going to do drugs anyway. They're going to shoot up anyway. So let me make sure you got some clean needles. I want you to stop. But damn it, if you're going to do it with a clean needle and don't share needles so you don't spread diseases. What's wrong with that? I don't get it. Jerica's in the house. She writes, "Hola, beautiful black people," and the others too. Karma's a B, Jerica. That's all I can say. It's a B. Oh man. Daryl writes, he wasn't giving out crack pipes. That's a lie. Right. That it was more to it than that. I think crack pipes, or like smoking paraphernalia, whatever phrase you want to use, was a part of the overall package. But you know, I'm with it. Like I said, I was pro and remain pro needle exchange programs. That was a big issue here in Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, going back 15 years. Everybody had a problem with it. Everybody had a problem with it. I'm like, this makes perfect sense. Oh, you're going to make people do drugs? No, you're not. Nobody's going to start doing intravenous drugs, hardcore street drugs, just because if you do, they're passing out, free needles as some nonprofit. No, nobody's going to do that. That's not why people start doing drugs. Like, damn, I've been waiting for them to pass out clean needles. Now I can do crack. Nobody's doing that. I don't believe it. Nakia writes, "Good morning, y'all. Good morning to you." Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let me see. Right, we do need to stop the misinformation, Daryl. I'm with you 100% on that. They were never giving out crack pipes. People believe that Facebook is a reliable source of information. Oh man. I just love it. Jerica thinks she knows more than me. Come on, Jerica. You don't know more than I do. Trust me. Trust me on that. But that's funny. But I am aware of some moves that were made to your local radio station, and I feel the same way as I always felt. I think it's sad. I think and part of the reason why I started doing this is because I 100% believe in amplifying black and brown voices. I still believe. I feel even more strongly about it. And I think that shit happens. And despite having some fun or whatever, my attitude remains the same. I'm focused on what we're doing, winning. When the former radio stations to work for decided to go back to talk, it was irrelevant to me. It made no difference. It doesn't do anything for me. And at this point in my life, I'm only concerned about things that do something for me. So I mean, I think it's sad, but it's the way things go. And what I would want people to do is to turn on and support the creative folks that we're working with, more than anything else. So that's what I would say. Support what we're doing. Support the Melanin Insights podcast. Support Brother Christian Boykin. You know what I'm saying? Support Edna Howe. Support Midday Juice. Support what we're doing. Support the Nathan Ivey Show. And that's it. So it is what it is. I mean, I could get more deep into it and give you some shit, but it don't do anything for me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really care, to be honest with you. I'm just like that though. And I think it's the Virgo in me. Any Virgos out here? Once a Virgo makes a decision, whatever happens after that doesn't really matter. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? What I care about is what we're doing tomorrow and what we're doing here. But for the community overall, I just feel like I told you, I keep telling you, but I don't need to keep saying it over and over again. What I'm going to do is just create it, build what I think we need, and that's the steps that we have taken, and that's it. So simple as that. Winners focus on winning. Winners focus on winning, right? And that's what I'm focused on. Losers focus on winners, but we're winners in here, so we focus on our goal, and that's what I do. So I got a few phone calls here or there. I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, so what? I mean, that's how I think about it. But I think overall, I mean, as I've said before, I'll say this again, and about the station I used to work for. Um, you know, on some levels, they were slightly ahead of the time in terms of creating a media channel where you can hear black people, slightly ahead of the time. But if you don't know what you have, then you'll squander it. If you don't know what you have, then you don't know what to do with it. And that happens a lot. It happens in personal relationships. Sometimes you can meet somebody, or you might meet somebody and you cool with them, and then you don't know what you have until they gone. But you can't get that back. And that's just what it is. Now the world has exploded, and you have so many more options. You guys, podcasting exploded. I was talking to Wayne Box Miller like right before the Super Bowl, like a week before the Super Bowl. We were, talking about the old days and just talking about, that collection of talent and what it could have been and all this kind of stuff, which, it's fun to do every once in a while, but I don't want to get caught up in the past. You know what I'm saying? I want to get caught up with the future. Jerick is asking my focus is. My focus is on what I'm talking about. I talk about the media. I talk about everything. And I definitely talk about what's happening here locally. So um, I'd be remiss in my duties if I didn't mention, changes that were happening. So that's how I feel about it. I feel like, it's sad on some levels. But it is what it is. It's as simple as that. It is what it is. And karma is a B. I believe that's like that. Let's see here. CG Dub writes, good morning, Choppers. Ray writes, what happened with the radio station? I'll let other people talk about that and fill in the details. Let me see here. So if the mindset is people are going to do drugs anyway, then why are we still arresting drug dealers? Why not give them financial incentives to give crackheads the cheapest, the cleanest, purest versions instead of laced up tainted drugs and make it make sense? Kaz, I'm with you 1,000%. They should some of these street drugs should be legalized. It'd be a lot safer. You take the resources away from the people on the streets that you think are committing the crimes, and then you create a product that's going to be a lot more safe. That's what happened with prohibition. They made alcohol illegal. The mafia took over, and they used that to grow and rise. Then the federal government was like, oh my God, we've created a monster. Let's take it away again, right? And then the mob had to shift to other industries. But that's exactly what happened. I'm with you on that. And you're not alone in that thinking, Kaz. There's other people that feel the same way. That line of thinking makes a lot of sense. But our society's not going to do it because too many people will be like, oh, well, you're being soft on crime, right? Or you're promoting drug usage. No, you're not. Is the fact that you can buy liquor and alcohol and it's legal, does that promote drug usage? I mean, not really. People do what they want to do. If you want it, it's there. There are plenty of people out there that choose not to drink alcohol. Because just because it's offered don't mean you gotta take it in. You don't gotta drink it. Plenty of people. And so I just don't buy that. So I'm with you 100%, Cass. I'm with you 100%. Like, if somebody presented an idea like that in the state of Ohio and I read through and it made sense, I would be for it because it makes sense. Why keep complaining about the dope dealers? Just take the industry away. But that's way that you're talking about progressive stuff now. Now we get into the world of progressive politics, and that's a no-no, right? In some people's minds, right? You're going too far to the left, is what people will say. But to me, it makes perfect sense. I'm with it. Let me see here. Linda writes, we missed a lot of gold opportunities. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I was talking about the former radio station I used to work with, and I was thinking about the tremendous amount of talent that they had together. And they just didn't know what to do with it. They had no idea. They didn't know what to do with me. I mean, outside of Jerry Tolliver, they didn't know what to do with me. They didn't know what to do with Jerry Tolliver. They had no idea. So sometimes you can have something precious in your hand, but if you don't know what you're looking at or know what to do with it, it don't matter. It might as well be a big old bag of you know what. So it is what it is. Lennox writes, good morning, brother Nathan Ivey. Good morning to you. Drops in the house. Good morning to you. Linda writes, Biden is spending 20 million on crack pipes. Crack is not legal, so why crack pipes? More arrests for illegal drug use. Well, they backed away from that, Linda. Hey, good to see you, by the way. It's been a minute. They've backed away from that. They're not doing it anymore. But the rationale is that you want to try to keep the spread of diseases like hepatitis and HIV from spreading. So what you do is you provide clean utensils for people that are very, very, very like super addicted. They're going to do it no matter what. And you just want them to just do their drugs in a way that doesn't spread disease. We had a similar conversation here in Cincinnati in Northern Kentucky. Like 15, 20 years ago, man, people was having all these conversations about whether we should, and by we, I mean the region, if organizations within the region should give out clean needles to drug users. And people were like, oh, we're going to have drug users. You're going to make more people drug users. And I'm like, man, ain't nobody doing heroin because you can get a free needle. That's not what people do. But that's how people think. Nobody's going to pick up crack. Like no one's going to be like, you know what? I always wanted to do crack, but the damn crack pipes was so expensive. Now they're giving out free crack pipes. Crack it is. Nobody's doing that. Nobody. These are people that are deep in their addiction. They want to get off. Because if you talk to most addicts, they'll tell you they want to get off. They just don't have the strength and haven't found that resolve yet. So I get it, Linda. I get it. And it wasn't just about crack pipes. It was a whole bunch of measures like that. It was also about clean needles and also like some ad campaigns they wanted to do to try to get the word out there. I mean, that's what the government should be trying to do on some levels. And I just felt like when the story came out, it was just mangled. They turned into something that it didn't really have to be. Tabitha writes, they did it with weed. Now they're selling it at a dispensary. Exactly, Tabitha. Exactly. They did it with weed. They did it with weed. People was getting locked up, primarily black people. Black males were getting locked up and stopped because I smell something. And now it's legal in many states. It's going to be recreationally legal or legal for recreational use in Ohio within the next 5 to 10 years. No doubt about it. And that's why I keep saying that industry is our reparations. Everybody talking about reparations, think outside the box. Let's do whatever we can legally to make sure that when the recreational marijuana decision comes, that black and brown entrepreneurs get a substantial part of it. And there's conversations going on in Ohio right now. Those conversations are being had in Ohio right now. And people are trying to figure out a way because they can see the money tornado coming. It's just like a storm full of dollars and money and currency called legal legal weed, recreational marijuana. Like right now, we can do it for medical purposes, medicinal purposes, things like that. But when you can do it recreationally and it's all legal, oh my God. It's going to be a weed oasis. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a weed oasis out here. And I keep saying the same thing. And again, I know of a few people that's working on this. I've reached out to them. We just haven't been able to just nail down a day and a time to have them come on that fits. But there's some people that's working on that issue in Ohio. They want to make sure that black and brown entrepreneurs get a significant piece of what's about to come. Meanwhile, 20 years ago, they locking brothers up because they smell something. Stupid, man. Just a waste of resources. Don't be wasting my tax dollars locking them somebody for marijuana. Go after the real creeps out here. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. Charles writes, Grand Risings, Nate and the Choppers. Shannon's in the house. She writes, there are also plenty of kids that drink because alcohol is legal and accessible. Think if crack was just chilling on the shelf at Walgreens. But it wouldn't just be chilling on the shelf at Walgreens. It'd probably be like in a state store or something like that. And Kids can't get, Shannon, I got to push back. Kids cannot, underage individuals cannot go into Walmart and get alcohol. They can't unless they've got an adult that's complicit. And there's no way around that. There's no way around an adult that's complicit in giving minors something they ain't supposed. You can't stop that. How you going to stop that? So I don't think that we should use that to pause us. It's not going to be in Walgreens. It'll probably be like in a state store or something like that. Or I don't know. I'm not sure how they do it. It wouldn't be in Walgreens. It'd probably be in a much more secure facility where you got to show IDs and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you know, marijuana. Listen, the other part about that, Shannon, is this. Whenever adults are involved and humans are involved, there's always going to be a chink in the armor. There's always going to be a hole. There's always going to be a way through because that's adults. That's human beings. It doesn't mean it's still not a good idea. You know what I'm saying? It don't mean it's still like good. It's like cigarettes. You know, if an adult's going to go buy some cigarettes for some kids, for some underage people, you can't stop that. What's up, Shaba Zulu? Appreciate you. I got the request. I'm on the show right now, but I will make sure you get in as soon as I get off. Shaba Zulu. Okay. Good morning to you, Shannon. Okay, sis, I see you with the avatar in the hair. Okay, I see you. Anthony writes, main purpose of the program is to reduce the spread of diseases by needle and pipe sharing. People doing drugs are also having sex with other people who aren't in the drug scene. Tell them, Anthony, tell them. And people got all their feelings about it. Oh, Biden administration going to spend $20 million for crack pipes, but they ain't going to give you no reparations. Everything goes back to damn reparations with some people. Biden administration spending $1 million on stimulus checks, but they ain't give you no reparations. I'm like, one has nothing to do with the other. Anthony is 100% correct to my knowledge. He's 100% correct about that. Shannon writes, how is it that we can shut down avocado imports but not drug imports? I did see a headline. I didn't read the article about something happening with the avocados and the Mexican drug cartels somehow. I love avocados, by the way. It's an acquired taste, but it's super healthy for you. But I didn't read it, so I don't know the gist of it. I just got the headline. But the reason why nobody can stop drug imports, Shannon, is very simple. There's so much money to be made. Everybody's getting money. Everybody getting paid. Why we want to stop the gravy train? Everybody getting paid. Why we want to stop this? And that's why. Tony writes, speaking of you and Box, since you brought back Straight Talk to the masses, any way Sin Digital can bring back the primetime sports show? You never know. You never know. You never know. That was just a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. But see, the thing about me, and I've learned about life, is that I enjoy the moment. Like when I'm in a moment, I know I'm in a moment, right? When I'm in a moment, I just enjoy it because I know these moments are fleeting. Nothing lasts forever. And like I said, I mean, in the city of Cincinnati, I think more voices is better than few voices, right? What up, Vince? How you doing, bro? He writes, hey, Nate, how are you, brother? I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Omar writes, I see all of you have to do is say free crack pipes, and the masses will argue about that and neglect the fact that the BS concept does not work. All it does is line the pockets of the politicians' friends, the actual reason for the policy. Huh? Good morning, Flo Maney. I don't know. I disagree. I disagree, Flo Maney. I disagree on that one. No, Omar. God. Good morning to you. So let me reiterate the topic, and I want to move on to some other things. I've learned this week that some tears are more valuable than others. The tears of former police officer Ken Potter were way more valuable than the tears of Dante Wright's mother, who was sobbing visibly in the court and in press conferences before the decision and before actually even the trial. The judge, who happened to be Asian American, and I want to know if you think that plays a role. TNT said something that I think she might be on point. She got something there. She says she wonders if the judge in the Ken Potter trial has some pressure put on her by the FOP. And I wouldn't be surprised. The FOP in these particular cities, man, they carry a lot of weight. They can definitely put pressure on you. They definitely can put pressure on you. You know, we need that counterpoint if there is something to balance it out. But maybe they put pressure on her, like, look, you wouldn't let her go home for Christmas so she could see her family. Why are you doing her like this? It was just a mistake. You're treating her like she's some kind of common criminal. She's not a common criminal. She's a good police officer who made a mistake. Can't you hear that argument? Yeah, I can hear them making an argument too. Yeah. Nakia writes, no. They have the weed, they have the dispensary sold up. They want your ID and dispensary card at every step of your way. I've heard that. I've got some people I know that have their cards, and yeah, they've told me it's a serious process. But again, for me, I look forward to the day, not necessarily for me personally, but for the world. The world's going to be a better place, especially if Black and brown entrepreneurs get a significant piece of it. The world's going to be a better place when it's legal. Cincinnati's going to be a better place. Some of these people got sticks up to you know what. Some people all uptight, caught up in their little box, their little world. And maybe some marijuana can loosen them up. You know, put a smile. Let me see some teeth, some gums. Smile. Damn. Live a little bit. And then the restaurants are going to get a huge boom because, you know, people get the munchies. You're going to be smashing. Like, damn, I ate 3 pizzas. Right? Good morning to you. Hey, good to see everybody, man. See Vince in the house. What's up? What's up? Good morning to you. Brian writes, marijuana cut in is a rap without a big actual fight. They are already building requirements for permissions that require at least $1 million in the bank. Setting up from the get-go for the rich here. Going to be much harder than getting a liquor license. Yeah, Brian, I don't know the details like it seemed like you do, man, but I wouldn't be surprised. That's why I didn't like the idea they had many years ago. There was an idea that went before Ohio voters. Ohio voters shot it down. What I didn't like about it is that it was no new money millionaires. It was the same old people that's already rich. That because they are rich and established, they first dibs. We're going to get even richer. And I'm like, okay, that's cool for them, but what about some new folks? What about some new folks? If Dante writes, what's up, Drop? If Dante writes mama was black, not white, her tears would have had more impact. What? Nah, they wouldn't. They had less impact. They would have had less impact. Just like the fact that her son, who obviously was black, is dead, had less of an impact on the judge's decision. So where you coming from, Drop? Drop has some weird views about black people and race, man. Your views are just out there. I'm not trying to say they're not valid. I'm just saying they're just different. And this seems like it's in the same line. That's what it seems like. Whole family rode up, huh? Okay, that's cool. You guys going somewhere? Or?
Yeah, we out.
You out. All right.
See you later. We out.
All right.
Come on. Yeah, you can't reach.
I did not use my speakers.
All right, thank you. Getting that love. See, that's some of that black love right there. This is a black family show. I promote black family values, good family values on the show. At the same time, I'm an ill iconoclast. I know it's like juggling plates, but you know, it's what I do. Because everything is all about the family. It's all about the family. Everything we talk about is about the family. Most of the issues stem from the family. And this show has morphed into, you know, a show that really promotes family values and primarily black family values. That's just how we are. That's just what you get here. But you also get some ill flows and some interesting interviews and some of the craziest callers you can see anywhere in talk radio, man. These folks, man. Shannon writes, now lock the door. I can't. It's like a curtain back there. It's all about the family. Some good, wholesome stuff. Nate, what happened to the relationship topic you didn't get to on Friday? Yeah. Let me see. I didn't plan on bringing it up today. I plan on talking about Cam Newton today, actually. Cam Newton said some stuff. It's along the lines of, it's along those same lines, but it's not the exact same topic. I'll probably save that for a future Friday. And if we don't get to Cam Newton today, then I'll save that for a future Friday because, you know, it's a Thursday, Friday. It was a Thursday, Friday, end of the week, sexy topics, you know what I'm saying? So I may save it. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey. This is your West Side Connection, South Squad 52. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, brother. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. And while I was dialing, I heard you talking about your show is morphing into a family show. And I agree 100%. And I would just like to say that families and parents across the country are winning against these out of control school boards. And it reminded me of what you went through as a parent back during the lockdown with the virtual learning. And that was the beginning. That was the catalyst of parents and families in communities starting to actually see what was going on in their schools. They were almost forced. Because you know, Mr. Ivey, that a lot of parents just are not involved with their children's education. So San Francisco had 3 board members recalled at a 70% rate of the vote. And then we all know what happened in Virginia when the Republican governor won because of what was going on in the school board in Lawton County, Virginia. So I want to give a shout out to parents like you, parents. I mean, it's just the stories that I heard on your show of people confronting the school board with their total disregard of the parents and their concerns about what they saw during virtual learning. So that's all I really wanted to say, Mr. Ivey, is that the parents across this country are winning. These school boards are starting to listen. And a lot of those voices were Black voices like yours and other parents in the greater Cincinnati area. So thank you for taking my call, Mr. Ivey. And that's all I got. And all I got to say is that's the Democrats. Stay woke, baby. Thank you.
Thanks for the call. I was surprised he didn't talk about Brian Flores. I just knew he was going to bring up Brian Flores. Brian Flores is the former Black, well, he was a former head coach, Black man. One of the few Black coaches. He got fired even after he did amazing things with the Miami Dolphins. He filed a federal lawsuit. Or could turn into I don't know if it's federal. He filed a lawsuit. It could become a class action lawsuit against the NFL, alleging discriminatory practices in hiring primarily Black coaches. Over the weekend I read, guess who's got a new job? Guess who's got a new job? Brian Flores. Guess what his job is? Coach. He's a coach now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So what does this mean for his lawsuit? You're not a head coach, but he's a position coach now. I can't remember what coach. I want to say quarterbacks or offense or something like that. No, take it back. He's a special defensive coach consultant, right, for the Pittsburgh Steelers now. So he's back in the NFL. So what does that mean for his lawsuit? Everybody got all whatever worked up. What? I don't know. We have to wait and see. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
What's up, Nate? Daryl from Atlanta.
What up,
What's going
Daryl
on, brother?
Good morning to you.
Okay. I just got to follow up. You see how Drop does it? He hits and moves. He sticks a gas light point in there and then he moves on. Like, that's all I got. I'm out. And so what he did was he conflated everything. You know what the issue is out in San Francisco? Yes, part of it is about the mask and all that stuff. But the reason why, at least I saw a small, quick clip about it They were, oh man, what it was an issue about, it was some ancillary issue not related to mask. It was almost too far overboard. And all I can say is just go out and look it up. So what he's trying to do is, it was black parents that said this, and he's conflating a whole bunch of issues, saying it's all about this, and these school boards are out of control, and they want their kids, they want the kids back in school and not wearing masks. I mean, and wearing masks. I think part of it was all the school boards around, I guess it was San Francisco, but all the other all the other areas around San Francisco, they allowed their kids back in school. I think they may have to wear masks or whatever. And that particular district was still instituting, virtual learning, and the parents were complaining and this, that, and the other, which, I mean, at this point, I don't know where it is. Everybody's getting all out of sorts. And I just keep thinking that, I don't know, man. I think we're rushing back into this, and we're going to be right back in the same spot we were a few months ago when we had the Omicron variant. There'll be some other variant, and we'll be right back to where we were, basically almost shutting everything down, because everybody is so, I'm not really, you think this is driven by the right wing, or is it just people are just spoiled and don't want to wait?
Both. I think it's both.
Okay.
I think it's both. Yep.
Because I'm like, we're still in a pandemic, but I see people not wearing masks, walking around like it's nothing. I'm just thinking, like, did something change? And people just don't care.
I think you say it's a mentality, but it's also people are just sick and tired of the masks. They just want to get back to normal.
But we're not getting back to normal. That's the whole.
Oh, we just lost Daryl. Daryl, I did not hang up on you. But I agree with his point. He's right. We're not getting back to normal. Let me go back to the point I was making. So former Miami Dolphins head coach Brian Flores now joins the Pittsburgh Steelers as a defensive assistant / linebacker coach. I looked it up. I want to make sure I was correct. And I'm like, so what does that mean for his lawsuit? Does he now stop the lawsuit? What does that mean for the plight of black coaches now? That's going to be very interesting. Like, can he now have a job as a coach, an assistant coach, and still continue with a lawsuit alleging discrimination against black coaches in the NFL? I don't know. That complicates things. That complicates things. So we'll have to wait and see. So everybody's talking about Brian Flores, and looks like it's over with. Hey, Daryl, call me back, man. I didn't hang up on you. It wasn't me. Call me back. I'll put you straight on. I don't know what happened. I bet Drop supports Michelle Tafoya 100%. TC's in the house. Writes, good morning. Good morning. I appreciate that, Kev. What up, Charles? Good morning to you. The situation in San Francisco is unique to San Francisco. Don't allow Drop to gaslight by conflating all the school board issues into one. I think it's a good point. Nakia writes, he's a coach. He's coaching in Pittsburgh now. Cass writes, Steelers made a great hire with him. Yeah. His lawsuit's still active, right? What's up, Roots? Appreciate that. Brent writes, now that Brian Flores is an assistant coach, it means absolutely nothing to his lawsuit. They have no problem hiring black coaches to be defensive coordinators, DBs, and running backs coaches. Okay. Right. So the issue is head coach. Head coach. Okay. With you on that. Drop writes, did I trigger Daryl from Atlanta? I think you did. Diane writes, I agree. Tabitha writes, I still wear my mask. Daryl writes, all good, Nate. I was finished. Okay. The phones answer my prayers. Lawsuit is about head coaching positions. Yes. Okay. Head coaches. Okay. Head coach. Okay, great. Jay Coop writes, good morning, Chop Shop. TNT writes, I thought his lawsuit was about head coaching. Yeah, I think you're right. It was about head coaching. So it'll have no impact then, because as somebody said earlier, that NFL has no problem with line position coaches, like lesser coaches. It's the head coaching position, which is like the face of your franchise, like along with the quarterback, unless you get a star player here and there. But besides the quarterback, it's the face of the franchise. And the primarily white ownership is still sensitive about that, apparently. You can't say that there are no good black. You got a league that's 70% black. So why is it not possible that some of the best coaches wouldn't be black as well, former players? Just makes perfect sense. But Jay Coos writes, 2 years is all I got to say, shaking my head. That's right. And the last 10 months will be served in like an out of like prison facility, right? Like the last 10 months are going to be like in a halfway house kind of situation, because some tears are more valuable than others in America. Some tears, man, we should get a drop of her tears and put it on eBay, man. It'll cure cancer. Clean up any blemishes you might have on your skin. It's a wonder drug. It's a panacea. White woman tears are a panacea. You take a little drop of that and put it on your plants that they're dying, it'll spruce them right back up. Spruce them right back up. Next to the power gauntlet that Thanos was once wielding, white women's tears is the most powerful force in the universe. Or maybe not. I'm just having some fun. I mean, come on now. I'm just having some fun. So it's the Infinity Gauntlet first, and then White Woman's Tears second. The two most powerful artifacts in the known universe. Going to hell. Going to hell. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning, Nathan. It's Kev on the cell.
Hey, good morning, Kev. Welcome, brother.
These are the days that I love the most, man. You work for a bank, you get all the bank holidays. I'll take it every time. So what the brother was saying a moment ago, basically what happened in San Francisco is the folks were upset that they were trying to get the name of, well, it was reported that they were upset that the folks were working on getting names changed for like 43 schools or something like that. And they didn't have a return to school program. So both the entire community, basically, well, 70% of the community, they had a change the mind vote, and they recalled those three elected officials, or those three elected school board members. So that's what that was. And yeah, in a way, dropped just like all of the conservative news channels conflated the idea that this is some big win for the right, and that, you know, this is what you need to see right here. This is going to be a bloodbath when it comes to the midterms, whatever. That it doesn't really line up. Like the school districts had a whole bunch of other problems as well. They neglected to mention those things, and so, you know, that's kind of what the Republican Party seems to be doing right now. It's kind of bothersome to me, man. You know what I mean? That you're still not running on anything, but well, look what we're showing you. No one wants these Democrats, right? So anyway, hey man, I love to see that black family love right there going out the door, because that proves the point that getting and giving the bag leads to family growth and love. for the Black family. Let's keep doing that. Hey, Nate, man, I'm trying. I wanted to give the last report on the health factors. The Cologuard came back clear, so no issues there. But I did find out that my cholesterol is high. So I got to go out, and they say if you're a little bit overweight, obese, whatever you want to call it, that's a precursor for diabetes and all the rest of the stuff. So, bruh, I am joining on to your train, man. I'm trying to get my food clean. I'm gonna go out and shoot that round ball, like I said, get a little bit of exercise in, and I'm not a heavy man by any means, but getting in good shape. And I just love this theme of we're going to continue to make sure that our family, the Black family, is taking care of their finances, taking care of their health, you know what I'm saying, and taking care of each other, and just continue to love on each other, man. Much love and peace. Blessings to you, bro.
Oh, thank you, brother. Same to you. Love that, man. Look, Kev want to say he just switched the flows up. Love the cause, man. Love the energy. He's a new African American. He just became a citizen. What was it, Kev? It was just last year. Less than, I don't want to speak on the months, but it was just last year, like the last part of the year as well. So love that energy. For me, the health thing, man, you look at like heart disease is killing a lot of us, diabetes is killing a lot of us. And it's really that sedentary lifestyle, man. People just, in front of computers, sitting down all day. And then you got the proliferation of fast food and over processed food. And, I'll say it again. I'll share this with you out of love. And I want you to be as healthy as you can and live as long as you can at the same time. Like, I want to be in my 80s, but I don't want to be a broken down 80. I'll take it because I'm going to cling on to life like a life raft. I'm going to hold on to that as long as I can, but I want to be in shape 80 where I can enjoy being 80 and do some stuff, and my son and daughter don't have to take care of me and all that kind of stuff. But whatever happens, happens. My son told me over the weekend that he was going to buy me a big house. He said he was going to go to the NBA, go to the All-Star game, win a championship, and he was going to buy me and his mother a big house and a Lamborghini. I was like, cool, son. I appreciate it. In his voice, it sounds so genuine in his voice. I was like, wow, you were touching me. You going to do that for your pops? He's like, yeah, Dad. What you want? I was like, man, I want to get I said, I need a workout facility, and I need maybe a pool so I can swim some laps. He was like, I think a pool might be over my budget. It's like, okay, really, son? Really? Getting the bag leads to Black family love? ? What the hell? I did hear that, but I let it go. Janice writes, it is interesting. People believe just because they are frustrated with the situation brought on by the virus and they become as vile as possible, their vitriol will actually change things and make the virus go away. Shaking my head. Really? People believe that? That ain't going to work. You're not going to chase the virus away with vitriol or with an attitude. It ain't going to happen. Nate. Okay. Let me see here. Yeah, my son was, man, that little boy is something else. He is a mess, a junior. He's a chip off the old block in a lot of ways. Okay, it's 9:31 a.m. I haven't taken a break. We've been rocking for like an hour, 20 minutes. Let me take a quick break, right? Just to get my thoughts together, give a little pause. We'll come right back. It's the Nathan Ivey Show, where nothing is funnier than the truth. Men are expected to be men. And of course, suck MCs get dealt with. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Broken future, all the plans you made in your heart grew just to die. And now your damaged goods, damage should have never been. Thought you were bulletproof, look at you, what happened? Did she hurt you? Are you okay? okay, baby. Everyone gets hurt. That's how we learn to make love work. It's part of life, but if you need a lullaby,
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Good morning to you. Just a quick break. You got me into the top of the hour. Welcome back, and Nate Ivey. Nate Ivey with you. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning. I am back. Let's get back into it. A little chilly in here. A little bit of a wardrobe change. Good morning. Let me say over my budget. Yeah, he's going to be over his budget. Black families have always showed each other love from far back as I can remember, and that's the very thing some people want to destroy. Absolutely. If you look at a lot of the problems in our community, it started with the home, disintegration of that family unit, drugs, other issues. It's terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. But the thing about it is, and I stand by this, like, you may not have the time or the money or the resources to reach out and touch another family, but there's nothing stopping you from touching your family. Nothing stopping you from doing that. Start there. Work your way out. Simple as that. I may sit on these relationship topics. I did want to talk about Cam Newton. I might sit on this until later in the week. I'm thinking I may do that at this point because I want to spend some more time on what we've been talking about this morning. And there's a couple other things. So in case you missed it, we kicked off this morning talking about Kim Potter, former police officer Kim Potter, who didn't even get 2 full years. She got 16 months plus credit for time served and a $1,000 fine. A $1,000 fine. The judge during the sentencing phase sounded like she wanted to cry. Matter of fact, she was tearing up, talking about how police officers have such a difficult job and it was just a mistake and can't you understand? And meanwhile, Dante Wright's mother, who is white, she was like, well, what about my tears? And I lost my son, which I think is a very fair question. Very, very fair. I think it's a very fair question. But what we learn is some tears are more valuable than others. And I think it was because, now people are going to say it's because she's a white female, and does that play a factor? I'm sure it did. But I think it's because of the color of her uniform, police officers. And we give police officers a lot of latitude to do their jobs, even to make mistakes, because everybody's afraid of crime. And I think that we're more afraid of being a victim of crime than we really should be. But news, they feed upon that. Right? Every time there's a shooting, road rage incident, anything to do with crime, they are right there on it. If it bleeds, it leads. And years and years and years of that. And then the fear mongering you get from some media outlets and politicians, it makes people feel like they could be a victim of crime any day. Even though crime might be down in a certain area. People's insecurity, their feelings about crime is way up. And when that happens, then people feel like they'll allow law enforcement a lot more latitude because law enforcement keeps you safe. Keep us safe. I'm not sure it works that way. Brent Rice, I watched the NBA All-Star game last night, and why are Ohio fans still butthurt with Steph Curry about hanging L's on a man who left them twice? Really? I thought Steph Curry got love, didn't he? Like, how could you not like Steph Curry? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, he's one of them people that's likable no matter what. He was on fire last night. Greg Rice, do you have any thoughts about the trucker protests in Canada? Some people are calling for truckers in the U.S. to do the same. I do not at this point, Greg. I do not. Let me tap in and see what's going on. Brent writes, even though the Potter judge is Asian descent, she knows in order to maintain her position, she has to side with the ruling class. Could be. Could be. It could be that. Or it could be like TNT said, they put pressure on her. And they put so much pressure on her that she felt as if she had to go along to get along. Could be. Could be some of that too. I don't know. Cam Newton says that a man who cheats isn't necessarily a bad husband. But he said the same thing about a woman as well. He said, listen, when you meet somebody, they have all kind of baggage, and you don't get a chance to decide what the baggage is. You don't get a chance to decide what the baggage is. You just got to go with whatever it is. And he was asked a question that if he was in a relationship, I guess he'd be a marriage if it was cheating. If he was in a relationship with somebody and everything was good, but they were a cheater, like this woman cheated on him, would he stay with her? And he was being interviewed by Brittany Renner, who I'm not sure if you know who that is, but she's been in the media because she was impregnated by an NBA ball player. I think the brother plays for the Washington team. And apparently it was all a scheme just to get a baby daddy that's got a big check or something like that. But she's making media now. She sat down with Cam Newton. They had this conversation. And Cam Newton said, yeah, I'd be with a woman that cheated on me as long as everything else was in order. And I'm wondering if his view is, like, how do you read? This is coming from a man. Like Cam Newton recently said in an interview, I'll play it for you in a second. He said, look, you know, just because a man cheats don't mean that he's a bad husband. But he also said just because a woman cheats doesn't mean she's a bad wife. Do you agree with that? Is this like some new age thinking? Is he just more enlightened than the rest of the room? Is he full of ish, or is he on to something here? Like, let's be honest here. Like, nobody's perfect. You get with somebody's going to have something that's wrong with them, right? And don't we make compromises in relationships all the time? Like, I got 10 boxes. They check off 7. So I'm good with 7 boxes checked off. Yeah, those 3 boxes aren't checked, but we can work on that. Women do that all the time. What's the difference if you're talking about somebody that's cheating? That's just one box that's not checked. That's the way Cam Newton came off. This ain't me talking, because I feel otherwise. This is Cam Newton talking. And when I watched the interview, it seemed as if she was she couldn't believe that he was saying it. She's like, what? Really? I this is foreign to me. I don't understand this. Let me grab this for you. I mean, as we're ending the show, give you something to think about. We don't have to have the biggest conversation, or maybe we'll circle back around and have a conversation later in the week, but just to mix it up a little bit. I want you to check this out. Hold on one second. Let me make sure that we golden before I hit play. But I want you to see this. I'm not gonna play all of it because it's like 8 minutes. I don't want to play all 8 minutes of it. I may play like a minute here or so. I just want you to hear the conversation and hear his mentality, which is something different. It's something different, but I'm wondering, is there something to it? Or is he just full of whatever? All right, let me play this for you.
I've been leaning in my chair. Mm-hmm. You would be with a woman who was the total package, but she was a cheater. Yes or no? Just yes or no?
Yes. Because I'll be willing to work to say, like, what is this stemming from? Simple and plain.
You're not enough. That's what she tells you. You're not enough.
Well, listen.
Your dick's not enough. Sorry.
That's cool.
So he said, that's cool. So, I mean, that's Cam Newton, big time super. He went to the Super Bowl at least once. I don't think they didn't win. Big time QB, hell of an athlete, man's man. He was known for being just as tough as some running backs out there. He'll run over you, right? Big old, strong dude. And he's saying that if he was in a relationship with a woman and everything else was good, but she was a cheater, that he would stay with her and just kind of work on it. And I'd like to know what you think about that. Just real quick. We ain't got to get super deep into it. And then I'll give you my thoughts about that. So I'm totally with the concept of meeting people where they are. I'm totally with that. Like, you meet a woman, y'all kicking it. Nobody's perfect. Hell, I'm not perfect. And maybe she got some things about her that you're not like super in love with and you wish that she would change. And you're like, I can deal with this. Everybody does that in a relationship, right? Everybody done that. Women do that with men all the time. Y'all, it's not settling. It's just like, I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, I enjoy this part of you and that part of you, not so much. But typically, it's not something, well, I'm going to say my thoughts on it. Share my thoughts on it. Dale writes, any black man that wears a hat like that, you got to take his comments with a grain full of salt, LOL. That's something different. That's a custom creation right there, right? He didn't buy that hat like that. So it looks like a nice little hat. I don't know, fedora, whatever the hell they call those. He just like cut a hole at the top so his dress could go out the top. I don't know. You know, the brother got, you funny for that one. But you get 4 ABs for that one. But you know the brother's different. Let me hear more.
Oh, I at least have to know.
And what?
I still have to know.
And then what? You just, I'll do better,
if
babe.
This is the option. If yes, this is the option that I'm saying. Oh, wow. Everybody's baggage is different. We don't get to choose what the baggage is. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but somebody needs to hear this.
Somebody needs to hear this. Somebody needs to hear this. Because everybody's baggage is not the same. Tony writes, that's that Jeff Pastor logic. 5 ABs, man. 5 ABs. That Jeff Pastor logic. Leave Jeff Pastor out of this, man. You got federal prosecutors to deal with. You got big time issues. It's not funny. Cam bedazzles his own hat in his spare time. Y'all are too much, man.
If it's cheating, if it's financial stability, if it's insecurity, if it's trust issues, everybody, and you may sit up here and have a good dude that can be something, and I'm not, hold on, let me finish.
I'm listening, I'm not.
Not necessarily, can be something, but a more or less like, they just need polishing. They're dull. Their knife is dull. Let me sharpen that shit up and say, hey, bro, that's unacceptable.
That's right, ladies. So if your man is cheating, his knife is dull. You just want to polish it. Polish that man up, ladies. Polish that man up. Tiff writes, I think he has a hat company. I'd be dope. I could see that. He's a very fashionable guy. Very fashionable. You know, what's funny is that you ain't going to like this, but I'll make this point. And I heard somebody else make this point. Is that everybody's been falling in love with the style of Joe Burrow, and he was wearing all this cool stuff. But when Cam Newton was doing it, was a distraction. That's all I'm gonna leave it just like that. That's right, ladies. So if your man is cheating, but black men don't cheat, then he just needs to be polished. He's dull. You got a diamond in the rough. You got to polish the rough edges. The same thing can be said of a woman, though. It ain't just no dude. It's the same thing you say of a woman. Brent writes, anyone listening to Cam Newton spout his philosophical nonsense and believe it, I question your judgment. I think you're being a little harsh on the brother. I'm not saying I'm 100% so, because I am not. But it don't mean that the brother in that hat can't have a spoonful of wisdom every once in a while. Let me play just a little bit more for you.
Just like I talk to the girl and say, bro, you're not enough. Okay, cool. Listen, let me prove to you that what you're doing is hurting me. Some people may care. Like, may not, a lot of polygamous relationships out here that's thriving. That's booming.
But there's honesty. Cheating and being a polygamous or polyamory relationship, there's transparency. That's the difference that we're talking about. So you would tell, how many daughters do you have?
2.
Okay, so you would tell them to just polish him off a little bit. He's just a little bit of a cheater.
Again, you can find this. I think I found this on World Star. I post a link. You can check it out the rest for yourself if you're interested. If I whipped your appetite, you're like, I want to see more. Or you might be like, hell with this. Jericho Rice can't raise a man. See, gosh darn it. You always got to jump to the most negative thing. Why are you jumping to the most negative thing? He's not saying raise a man. I knew this was going to happen. Damn it, Jericho. He's not saying raise a man. What he's saying is that when you get with somebody, nobody's perfect. What the word he used was baggage. Everybody got their baggage. One person's baggage might be they $200,000 in debt. Another person's baggage might be that, they've never been in a monogamous relationship. They've never not cheated. That's what he's trying to say. It's not about raising a man, just like he said about a woman. It's not about raising a woman. It's about polishing her. And women love to get a project. Stop it, Jericho. Women love to get a project. You're going to clean them up and show them how to dress and show them how to do this, that, and the other. Now, look at them. Haters. Tony writes, Brittany's next baby daddy. Y'all wrong. Y'all wrong. Kashar writes, everyone has their limits. If cheating is your limit, then they are out. Cheating goes to character, possibly lack of discipline, willingness to sacrifice, respect for your partner, etc. Also, is it once or continuous? I thought that Brittany Renner asked an excellent question. Cheating, hell to the no. You doing something behind my back, you endangering my life, I ain't with it. I ain't with it. We ain't gonna work that out. Jenny writes, he needs to put that cigar down and save his lungs for the field. Maybe so. I'm not sure he's gonna get another job, but maybe so. Maybe so. I think he's done with the field at this point. Or is he still playing? Is he playing? I don't know. I don't know if he's still playing or not. Is he currently playing? Did he go back to the Carolina Panthers? I think he did. So I don't know. I'm all about the black quarterback, so we'll see what happens. But I just want to share that with you. Just a little tidbit. Nothing super serious. I thought it was interesting. He got some clicks and a response online. I thought it was interesting. Okay, great. Sorry, something just came across my computer screen. Okay, interesting. Very, very interesting. I don't know. If no one's responsibility to fix anyone's issues when you get into a relationship, heal yourself. In a perfect world, you'd be so right, Jericho. Like in a perfect scenario, you're right. Like you should heal yourself. You should be a whole person before you get into a relationship. But how often does that really happen? Like, really? You got people out there that's grown adults, and they don't even realize there's a problem. They don't even know something's wrong. You want to put it that way. They have no idea. They're just going through life, just doing what they do. And I disagree with you, Jericho. It like if you get married to somebody and you're deciding to stay with them and they've got an issue, then you got one or two choices. Either you're going to deal with the issue or the issue's going to deal with you. So in that scenario, you already yoked up now. Y'all linked. Y'all got a whole house, bank accounts. Y'all are intertwined. And then these things about this person start to come out because that's what'll happen. People can fake it for a long time, but then you get married and the walls slowly come down. You get a chance to see the real them. Or there's a big difference between being in there's a big difference between dating somebody and y'all kicking it for a year or two and being 7 years deep into a marriage. It's completely different. 10 years deep into a marriage, 5 years into a marriage, and the parts of them start to come out and you like, oh, snap, I didn't see this. What are you going to do? You can either leave like, oh, this other part of them came out, or you try to help them help themselves so you can help your relationship. That's how I look at it, Jericho. I don't think it's so cut and dry. Jericho writes, why are there so many single-family homes and unhealthy relationships? Two unhealthy people can't create a healthy relationship. I agree with that. Hell, one unhealthy person with a healthy person can't create a healthy relationship. Y'all got to be on the same. In some way, the unhealthy part is going to manifest. I'm with you on that. Which is why there are so many single-family homes and unhealthy relationships. Could be. You think so? Single-family homes. Well, number one, people don't look at marriage the same way. Somebody was asking me about the conversation I didn't bring up on Friday. There was an article by CNN that said that two things are happening. One, people are deciding to get married less. They don't see the functionality in it. They don't see the usefulness in it. They're like, hell, why would I get married and then have to deal with one person when I can be single, live my best life, and date a whole lot of people? I understand that. So I think one reason why there's so many single relationships, single family homes, is because people are choosing not to be. They just straight up choosing to do what they want to do by themselves. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Nathan, what's going on? It's Tony.
Hey, what up, Tony? Good morning, man.
Hey, how you doing? What's up, man? Hey, I wanted, actually, I was gonna have some flows on what you're just talking about, because I always catch your shows after the fact. But I did want to talk about something that you mentioned on Friday.
Okay.
About the schools and how they blackfaced and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Well, one thing I wanted to talk about was, I don't know if you noticed, but some of these schools are getting real creative bypassing Black History Month. Like some of the little tactics they're coming up with. And I know with my, our boys the same age. My son's school, he's the only Black kid in his class. So they're not even really talking about Black History Month. What they decided to do was they had the kids doing a project for they assigned them a president to do a little research thing with note cards. And I kind of got a theory on why my son got John Adams, the second president. And I think she was kind of being slick, but she didn't want to give him Barack because that'd be too obvious with him being the only Black kid in class. Mm-hmm. But she gave him John Adams because allegedly he was one of the few, founding fathers that didn't have slaves. Because she knew if that was a fact, he had slaves, I'd have brought the fire. Mm-hmm. I definitely would have had him put that in his report. So, we getting information. We typing up information and stuff. I'm letting them look on the internet, Google and stuff about John Adams. And we came up on like a list of presidents, and he happened to see Barack. And so he was like, whoa. And I don't know. I don't know if it's first time he ever saw him. I don't think it is, but his eyes lit up and he was just like, who is it? Is that a president? And I was like, yeah, man, that was the president when you were born. So he was like, oh, well, what is his name? So then we just started talking about Barack. And I'm after that, when he showed me he was interested, I was like, well, shoot, let me show you his family. So I started, I showed him Michelle and the daughters and stuff like that. And before I knew it, I'm doing more research on Barack than I'm doing on Adams.
Right.
So but the look on his face, and you know how it is, man, it'd be like little moments your son give you, where you just want to put it on loop. And man, he said something to me, man. He was like, anyway, I could be president one day. Man, I put some bass in my voice and I was like, yes, son. Yes, you can. And man, bruh, I wish someone would have videoed it, man. That was like one of them Camel Suit commercials or something, man. It was dope. that was just one of those kind of moments. So look, with all the changes that's going on, I'll put this out there, all our black parents out there, man, these, nationwide, they trying to rewrite history. They trying to eliminate the important stuff. We got to leave it up to us to educate our kids on what's going on with history, and especially our history.
Right.
So
hey, Tony,
I know I got my assignment, so that's what I'm on. But I had to share that with you, man, because it cracked me up. It cracked me up when I got to share that with Nate.
Hey, Tony, before you roll, man, real quick, how would you have felt if the teacher issued him Barack Obama for his report?
I'm of two minds of it, man, because I probably would have been like, oh, okay, well, I would have been like, at first I would have been like, oh, she's doing that because he's a black kid. But then I would have probably come around like, okay, well, if you're going to do that, because like I said, man, I'm all about bringing the fire on those kind of things. So it's like, okay, if we're going to do that, then we're going to show them all the stuff he's done, and we're going to put, because you have to like with the cards, you have to do illustrations or do you can put little clippings. Man, I'm putting every clipping of him in his tux. I'm putting every clipping of Michelle in a gown. I'm putting, you're gonna see the best presentation of Barack if we doing that, because I'm putting some on all these kids' minds, so they can go home and piss off their parents.
Absolutely.
I'm sure I'm sure a lot of these kids have heard, because like I said, man, the school he goes to, a lot of parents, they Trump people, so they from that frame of mind. So when Barack was around, they probably had all kind of negative stuff to say about Barack. So I'm definitely gonna send something on their kids' minds back to them.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Tony,
that's probably the. All right, man. Good show.
I appreciate the story. Yeah, I'm glad you got in. It's great to hear your voice.
Hey, man, good to talk to you.
Yeah, he said, can I be president? He said, got to put that bass in his voice. That's, yes, son, you can. See, that's that daddy stuff right there. That's that black father stuff right there. I know all about it. Telling you, man. Kids are, man, there's so much work. You talking about an investment. Man. But, man, the moments you get with them, so worth it. So worth it. Hey, listen, I got to make a move. I'm about to hit these streets, work this body for the next couple of hours. If you want to contact me, I'm highly accessible. Just hit me with a direct message. Have an excellent rest of your day, family. I do have an update on our investment club idea. I did meet with a black CPA yesterday. We spoke for about a good hour yesterday afternoon, and he's willing to help us. He gave me some really good ideas. I'll be in contact within the week. So give me until Monday of next week to contact everybody. Because I want to coordinate with him so he can set up a Zoom time so we can come into the Zoom. If you miss that Zoom time, what I'm hoping is to make the video available for you, and I can just send it to you. I can just email it to you or make it available somewhere online. Maybe I put it on my website or something like that. I'll figure out some kind of way to do it, and then you can check it out for yourself. And he's going to run through who he is, what he has to offer, and then what the basic idea is. And essentially the way we're going to set this up, we're going to simplify it. It's going to be a shared experience. Where each individual will have we're each going to make a similar investment on a monthly basis over a long period of time. And I think it'll simplify things and it'll be more of a shared experience. He's offered to meet with us a couple of times a year to talk about our investment once we make it and what the fund is doing and do we want to put it in something more aggressive so we can make those decisions as a group. But then everyone will have their own individual account that you can manage yourself and decide what you want to do. Like some people things happen that are unforeseen. So I'm excited about it. Want to do something special with you. So just to give you a heads up, if you're still interested, all you got to do is just email me, nathansflow@gmail.com. And in the subject line, put investments. Let me know that you're interested. That way I can catalog all those emails in a very, very efficient way and get back to everybody. Okay. So I want to give you a heads up on that. Have an excellent rest of your day. Viva La Chapas. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning, bright and early. And remember our motto. Winners focus on winning. And losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning. And we'll talk real soon. Until next time, I'm Nathan Ivey, and I'm out.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand. I'm back again.